Hello, my fellow follow the samurai players. Zaript here. And yet another ladder game for you between me and guns from Via Militera. And, well, I just wanted to warm up a little before casting some Agony 1v1 championship matches. And this one is actually quite interesting ladder game in terms of build balance. We both, me and Guns, use somewhat similar ideas in our build, but we get the same forces in different proportions, which I want to talk about a little, and we will see how it comes out. Well, there is this is not entirely build battle, just because we both do quite a lot of micro mistakes, but whatever. Let's talk about builds this game. I have Imperial Infantry, 3 Black Tortoise Forces, I believe, yeah, and 1 Infantry de Marine. So I have 1 strong line unit, 1 very strong line unit, and 3 weaker ones. Oh, I have 4 weaker ones, 4 Black Tortoise Forces. I have Yarikachi with 3 upgrades, another Yarikachi with 3 upgrades. They both have attack and morale upgrades. Now, I have 4 Yariki, 2 of them relatively weak. They have only 2 attack upgrades, and 2 of them have 7 upgrades, and 24 attack because of the retainer. I have Imperial Guard Cavalry, and my gun, as usual, some mix between gun and Bushido. Now, my opponent guns have well, let's see, his line component consists of 150 range Blackbeards, 2 125 range Whitebeards, and Infantry de Marine. He have 3 Yarikachi, well, let's say not a lot of upgrades on them, and he have quite a strong cavalry contingent, 5 cavalry units, but they're not highly upgraded, as I can see. He has the same amount of upgrades, 2 Yariki with 2 chevrons, and 2 Yariki with 6 chevrons, and 1 Shogun Guard Cavalry with 2 chevrons. Let me check this out one more time. Yeah, right. So, we both have some line contingent. We have spears to protect our expensive line against cavalry, and some cavalry contingent. But he have more and stronger cavalry and 1 additional Yariki, and I have more line, which I use to get more pressure on my left flank and get archery dojo, because my opponent guns, he can only choose to pressure 1 point of a map, and he chooses to pressure middle. He wants to get this forest, so he gives up archery dojo and goes for this sword dojo. And we already engaged here. We both wanted to get closer to this forest, and as you can see, he misses the first volley from me, which is a very bad micro mistake. I miss charge of his Yariki into my Imperial Guard Cavalry. Well, let's see now. Here fight starts in this forest. I'm not advancing, I don't really want to do anything, because now I have my cheap line working as a mid shield, while my Infantry de Marine gets it kills. And now, what is important in such close... when you build very similar... Well, if you have seen Pointman's video, last one I believe, he talks about mirror builds. It was a battle on Alpine Ridge, and he talks about getting some sort of imbalance in mirror builds. Well, he does it with flank skirmishes, and I do it by completely abandoning that flank by shifting all of my cavalry to this side, and I hit his middle before he can manage to put his cavalry to good use. So instead of keeping my cavalry here, I just take the initiative and get my line here. And it's hard to tell. It's at this point it's not clear what is happening, but overall I kind of lose my right flank, but I completely dominate my left flank. And now I have 2 line units flanking him from his right. I have my infantry de marine almost full. He has his infantry de marine at half, and he still have his 150 range Blackbeards. He still have his Whitebeards. So it's not clear yet who is winning, and I kind of lost all of my cavalry. So this is a very desperate situation for me. It's kind of win or lose. If he plays it right at this point, he can win. He got better position, but I got archery dojo. So let's see what is happening. This is the power of melee units on Hida Mountains. He is rushing me, and I have to get back. At the same time, he does very bad with his cavalry. Well, he tries to get a flanking charge here, or maybe a rear charge, but he micros it too slow. I managed to get rid of this Shogunate Guard cavalry. So he could have gotten rid of this Black Tortoise force easily if he played it right, if he microed it faster. But he had to micro mid because I sent my Yarikach to get his infantry de marine, and if he loses it, this battle actually will go into my favor. You see, this Black Tortoise force come back from routing on this flank, and I put a good use to this Yaruki, so I managed to route 1 unit of Whitebeards here, and suddenly it looks very good for me. And I can't even tell what exactly happened, how exactly I won, because at this point, when he routed my Imperial Infantry and my Black Tortoise force on my right flank, it looked very grim, because he has better forest position, and I think probably I'm winning it just because I pulled back at the right time. He followed me, which, you see, I had Black Tortoise force here, Black Tortoise force here. So when he followed me, he kinda put himself into my encirclement, just because my middle got back. So he exposed his flank without me doing anything. I was just keeping these units on its place. So sometimes you want to think a bit more before following your opponent. If you have good position, you should consider keeping it. So overall, I didn't talk about builds much in the end, but overall I think he put too much funds into anti-cavalry protection. 3 Yarikachi is a teeny bit too much, I think, and we will see that if he managed to use them or not. And the other thing is, he put a lot of funds into his cavalry, but his micro was not enough to make them cost effective. So let's see, I have deployed 200 men more, and I killed 100 men more. So this win is quite decisive, but it certainly didn't feel that. It was a close game from what I felt in it. Let's see. So I certainly mismicroed this Imperial Infantry. It was on my right flank, and I engaged them against 150 range blackbears that were staying in the forest. That was clear mistake by me. Overall, more or less interesting. My general bodyguard did well. I don't know what to say about my army, but here, let's see. His line did very well, considering he took a good position. He got into the forest and he stood in that forest. He used the sword dojo as a protection for his right flank, and it was working very well until he decided to push me. One of his Yarikachi managed to pay for himself. This one probably too, but third one was completely destroyed. I think getting 2 spear levy on this place would have been better idea, or maybe 1 line unit, because when you have such a strong cavalry contingent, you don't need that many spears. I mean, you have 5 cavalry units, so you can use them to protect your line, especially if you are using your cavalry so passively. I mean, you have seen that he just stood on that right flank of his and did nothing with his cavalry. Very close game overall. But you see, the reason I engaged in the middle is because I knew from the beginning that in this almost mirror build, let's say it was quite close in terms of overall components. We both have some line units, some 150 range units, we have some spears, no swords. It's more or less cavalry line built with some spear support. But I have a cheap line which allowed me for more wide flanking, and I knew that if I engage in the middle, I can push my left flank fast enough to get rid of, to hit him from the side. But I was mistaken. I lost that shooting fight in the middle, and I could have lost this game easily. Well, I hope my blubbering wasn't too stupid this time, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Have a good day.